The topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from top local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to experts in family law, association law, hearing loss, business brokers, home care, along with many other topics. Now here are your hosts, Steve-O and Sophia.
Another Ask the Expert show. You know, you're very lucky because most talk shows nowadays, we offer you a live show every week at this time. And the only problem is sometimes we get frozen in. Sometimes we are reined in like we are today, but we are still live. I have got one of the greatest experts. He's actually been with me for probably about 10 years, one of the finest tax relief experts, enrolled agents. Let me welcome you to, I call him my friend, Barry Fowler with Taxation Solutions. Good afternoon, Barry.
Hey, good afternoon, Steve-O. It's great to be here. I'm missing you here on camera, so they're stuck with just me. But we'll still have a great program here.
We always do. I just want to tell everybody we just opened up in New York City. I've been doing this for 12 years. I've never been in New York City. Our show is now in New York City and Chicago. We are modulating California today. Barry, tell everybody about Taxation Solutions.
It is probably the greatest tax relief company in the nation. You see, you're throwing me off here because you're not on screen with me. We provide tax relief nationwide. We have clients in every state. We've got offices that we use to meet with the IRS all around the country. We're here to be of service to the taxpayer, to stop the IRS and stop them now from, garnishing your wages, levying your bank account, doing all the nasty things the IRS can do. Whether it's a personal problem or a business problem, we're here to put that solution in place for you to keep the IRS from taking everything you own. And that's what our goal is to provide you that relief, to let you sleep at night, knowing that somebody else is handling the problem and you don't have to just go it alone. Because that sometimes is the worst part, is going alone and not knowing what to expect when you're dealing with the IRS.
About not knowing what you're doing either. Barry, I got to tell you, it's so hard to get on that level playing field with the government. This is one of these ways that if you retain a company like Taxation Solutions, you can get on a level playing field, because now you have somebody representing you that knows what to say, what not to say. And Barry, I'm sure you've had clients come to you to try to do it themselves.
Steve, well, first off, I'm going to correct you. It's not a level playing field. We get it tilted in our direction, and we know what we're doing and how to handle the IRS and get the right solution and guide them down that path. But yes, do it yourself. As my wife says, and even out here on our ranch, my wife says, sometimes do it yourself doesn't work. It's kind of like fixing the plumbing, and we go out and we run the new pipe, and what happens? It springs a leak. There's always going to be something if you don't know everything you're doing. You can YouTube it. It doesn't make it easier. It doesn't make it right. You can, Google or ask Siri or Alexa or whichever, but it doesn't going to give you all the answers. They can't interpret and read the Internal Revenue Manual. They can't interpret and read the Internal Revenue Code. And it's hard to teach somebody to do that just in a YouTube video. If you could, then everybody would be out here teaching you how to do tax resolution via YouTube, and everybody would be an expert at it. Well, our years of experience in dealing with the IRS has given us the ability to be smarter and better than those IRS agents. It gives us the ability to know the Internal Revenue Manual inside and out. I was doing a seminar this morning on, reasons people have tax problems. And part of that seminar was talking about the Internal Revenue Code. Back in 1918, I think it was, when they started the Internal Revenue Code, it was 430 pages. And it took them, almost 50 years to get to 500. And now it's like 75,000 pages long.
Oh my gosh.
You have to interpret that.
I never knew that.
What was that?
I never knew that it was that large of a volume.
Yeah, we always make a joke when we're doing these seminars. I ask people, how long would it take you to read the Internal Revenue Code, or how long would it take an average person? And people, they give me all kinds of wild things. But, if you were able to stay awake and read the code, it would take you about 14 days. The average person won't stay awake reading it. So now we're probably more like at 14 months. And you probably won't read from the beginning to the end. And a lot of it doesn't apply to you and I as everyday taxpayer. It's going to apply to the major corporations. It's going to apply to businesses. It's going to, apply to in different areas for each different person, whether it's farming, whether it's ranching, whether it's trucking, or, tax relief.
Barry, I kind of tell you, since I have been doing this for so long, one of the things I've learned about your business is a lot of companies have gone under. And the reason why is they have horrible customer service. And I'm really setting this up for you because you've been in business for a long time. And it just goes to show you've had so many positive things about taxation solutions. And that's why you've been around for so long.
Well, Steve, it starts from the first time somebody calls, because we actually cater to the taxpayer. We want to make sure that what you come to us and what you're asking for is going to be the right thing for you. And you really don't know. You hear the commercials out there, settle for less, settle for pennies on the dollar. If you owe $10,000 or more, these are all the commercials that are out there that, some of the biggest companies and largest companies run. And we have to fight against that, because they're going to sell you on the perfect dream. Everybody wants the dream girl. Everybody wants everything to be just the way they think it should be. Okay. Well, life isn't that way. Not everybody qualifies to settle for less with the IRS, but some of these big companies, that's all they're going to sell you on, is that you can, and they sneak that little word in, possibly. And then they charge you as if they're going to do that offer and compromise, that settle for less type deal. And you get in and start working with them, and you've paid them a lot of money. And the next thing you know is it's a full pay payment plan. Hey, that's something that we are looking to be able to discuss with you, right up front. Sometimes it happens because you don't disclose everything to us. Sometimes, we're going to get you into that and we're going to work on it. And then we get to the last phase and we find out, hey, you didn't disclose things to us. I mean, I had somebody that inherited $1 million worth of property, but they didn't feel it was necessary to tell anybody. At that point, we couldn't put them in an offer and compromise. We had to get them into a payment plan. And we actually got them into a partial pay payment plan, so they didn't have to pay it all back. So there's a lot of options. We've just got to weigh the options and work with you. You know, when you go to settle with the IRS is settling because you have basically nothing to pay them. You can't afford it. You don't have equity. You don't have assets. All those things go into their qualifications for an offer in compromise. But we're able to work with you to change your situation. You know, maybe you have enough money to make a $500 a month payment to the IRS. And now, you know, the IRS would say, hey, you can extrapolate that out for a good number of months. But you don't have any car payments. So let's get you a brand new car maybe. Let's get you into something else, or you have too much equity. Let's borrow more money on your house, pay a little bit of that to the government, fix your roof, do the other things you need to do. And then you do qualify for the offer in compromise. So there's a lot of solutions that we can put in place that help you get down that road. But it takes making the phone call to us to let's figure this out. So you call the number that's here on the screen. It's 877-996-6477, 877-996-6477, or go to taxationsolutions.net. Yep, that's .net. And you can fill out the contact form and we'll be in touch. You can find us on Facebook at Taxation Solutions. We've got the ability to get with you to help work on settling this problem and get that IRS off your back.
Barry, it seems from the letters we give, people love when you tell client stories. I mean, we don't give out your clients' names or anything, but they love hearing about the stories and how well you accomplished for your client. Do you have a story for us?
Oh yeah, you know, today was actually a good day. You know, the stock market was doing pretty well today, which is unusual in the last couple of years. But
Yes.
on a client side, you know, we got an IRS letter today that accepted an offer in compromise, which was really, really sweet. This person owed $133,000, and this is one of those deals where we really weren't sure 100% we were going to get this thing through, but we threw it out there. We kind of threw it up on the wall and said, "Hey, let's try." We're not sure where we're going to get to. We made one of these ridiculous offers of $100 to settle this $133,000 debt. By the time it was all said and done, we went through appeals, and I really, going into appeals, didn't think I stood a very good chance of getting the settlement that the client needed, because you know everything was looking towards they would have to pay $40,000 or $50,000 on the 133, and that was not going to really be able to happen. They couldn't borrow money on their house, they couldn't get money from family, so they really needed a low settlement. Well, we ended up getting the offer back and accepted today for $1,300. So it was about 1%. You know, that was really, really nice. And I talked to the client, and they were ecstatic. I don't know who was happier, if it was me or them. But you
How
know,
long did you work on that for, Barry?
I was very happy for them. You know.
Yeah. How long did you work on that?
Oh, I worked on that. It was about 18 months, actually. It was one of those things where we filed the appeal about 8 months ago, and it took them 8 months to get back with us on follow up on the appeal and everything else. So it was 10 months to get through the first part of it, and then 8 months to get to the appeal. I thought they were just ignoring us and moving on. So, you know, sometimes the IRS works really, really slow. Sometimes we can be amazed at what we can accomplish at the IRS. We amaze ourselves sometimes, but we fight really, really hard for every one of our clients to get the best deal possible. And not everybody gets that. You know, sometimes we don't win just as drastically as, you know, that case. I've got one right now is sitting in appeals, and actually we have been working on this for 2.5 years. That's how slow the IRS has been on following this one through. And I'll be sad to say that the client's messed up over the last few 6 months, I would say. they've taken some real good income in and messed up what our case was in appeals. And I don't think we're going to be able to get this thing settled, unfortunately. But I do think that being in their situation, that we'll actually go in and file another offer for them. And that one will go through because their situation will be very drastic at that point. Unfortunately for them, it's just the life of the economy and the way things have worked out. In this case, they got some big settlements over the last few months on some commissions that were owed them. And it's going to throw this case, into the bad pile, as I would say. But we'll have an opportunity to go back and refile it.
Barry, I'm going to tell you something. I would rather have 15 months of taxation solutions working on my case, and I don't have to worry, than having 15 months of not having you and having to worry big time what's going to happen to me next.
In the grand scheme of things, 15 months is nothing. 24 months is nothing. As long as you can get that offer done, or, if we're going after a payment plan, or we're going after a partial pay installment agreement, or we're going after a non-collectible status, it doesn't take as long. We can get that done sometimes in a month, 2 months, 6 months. It really just depends on your financial situation that you're in. And then it depends on, how much we've got to fight with the IRS to get them to approve the things that we need to do to get you to that partial pay installment agreement. So, the one thing I want to say about partial pay installment agreements is don't let everybody corner you into an offer and compromise, because, these offer and compromises that the IRS does comes with a lot of conditions and strings. You've got to be in compliance for 5 years plus whatever time that offer is pending, meaning you've got to file your taxes on time and make sure all the taxes were paid correctly within the deadlines. If you have estimated tax payments, you got to make those every single quarter. If you're running a business, you've got to make sure that, whatever you do, you file your payroll tax returns on time, the company tax returns on time, you name it, you've got to do. And that's not just that time period where the offer is out there pending, but it's actually goes on for those next 5 years after they accept it. Sometimes that's not right for a person, because compliance for some people is hard. They just can't see their way just to meet these deadlines, time in and time out. I've gotten some offers accepted that I told people right up front, you should not go for an offer. You will never stay in compliance. They insisted on it. We got them an offer within 6 months. They were already defaulted. And
after 6 months?
Yeah. I mean, they didn't file payroll tax returns on time. It's part of what you've got to do. And then they're looking at us going, well, can you do this again? No, we can't do this again. I won't do this to you. It's not worth it for you. It's not worth it for me. Let's get you into a non-collectible status, or let's get you into a partial pay installment agreement where they're not going to be sitting out there reaching out to you and make all this debt flow back on you because of non-compliance and having a problem. Yes, they still want you to be in compliance, but you're working down a path for the better solution that's better for you. So, not every time is offer right. Even when we can get an offer, it may not be right. We got to look at your solutions in your situation so that we have the right solution in place. With a partial pay installment agreement, hey, a lot of times you may only have 2 years or 3 years left on the statute of limitations that the IRS can collect. Putting you into a partial pay installment agreement may get you just about the same solution as an offer, but the strings are only for 2 years. Stay in compliance, pay this for 2 years, and you're done. All the rest of the debt falls off. We've done this numerous times where somebody's been looking at it and saying, hey, I should go into an offer. I should go into an offer. We do this tax analysis before we get started. And we went, hey, the best thing for you is a partial pay installment agreement. You pay $100 a month on a $200,000 debt for 2 years or 3 years. And all the debt falls off. Matter of fact, a good chunk of it would fall off in like 12 months. Another chunk will fall off in 18 months, and another chunk will fall off in 2 years, and you're done, or 3 years, and you're done. That's why you hire us, is to get the right solution so that you can do it. Now, when you're talking to an IRS agent, guess what they're going to say? You can afford to pay.
They want to get the most money possible.
Yeah. In the seminar I did this morning,
they're very good at what they do, aren't they, Barry?
They're not better than me, but yeah, they are very good.
Not better than you. You don't mind going up against them. But
no, I have fun
individual,
with it. I actually kind of most of the time enjoy it. Now, I'll be honest. This last year, I actually got mad at one of the agents. Now, I kept my cool, which is really,
but really more than they do.
But the agent was just really being derogatory towards me. And I really wanted to rip into them and let them have it, but they were totally wrong. And I'm trying to explain the Internal Revenue Manual to him and the code to him and explain to him why they were wrong. And he was having none of it. He had threatened me with all kinds of things. And I'm like, go for it. Let's do it. We want to have a knockdown, drag out. We want to go there with you. You do what you got to do, and I'll see you in tax court, whatever we need to do. My next phone call was to their manager, and got to working with the manager. The manager went, well, he's new. He didn't know what he was doing, but, he needed to collect for the government. No, it doesn't make it right. Can you imagine if that was a taxpayer listening to this guy go through and give you this BS of all the reasons they've got a full pay and all the reasons that this person is wrong? I'm sorry. You've overstepped your bounds. If it was a taxpayer, they'd be like crying on the floor or going and giving them every single thing they got. No, we put an end to it. We put a stop to it and got this guy off the case, got this case resolved the right way and reasonably. And that's how we help you sleep at night. That's how we help the taxpayers and our clients go through this on a day in and day out basis.
I know what would help me is that or I know that you've seen it all, Barry. There's not too many new things that are going to come on your desk. So when you tell somebody basically what you can do for them, it's just about gold because you've seen it all.
Yeah, I have very few surprises these days in business, and as
being modest now.
There's no judgment zone when you call us. I mean, we've heard all the reasons and all the possibilities of why you would owe the IRS, and you know what? It happens. Life happens, and that's what it's all about. But I will be honest, there's a lot of times we get clients that call that have absolutely no reason or no understanding of why they owe the IRS any money. And sometimes the IRS is wrong. I mean, we had a client that I'm dealing with right now, and we're working through it. The wife filed her own return, married filing separate. The husband filed a return that she signed as well, married filing joint. So they paid off all the joint tax debt, but for some reason, the wife still has a tax debt on her, but nobody at the IRS can actually tell us why. And so we've had to go in and file appeals and do other things to get rid of this tax debt. But the IRS isn't doing anything to collect it because she really doesn't owe it. But when you call the IRS, you find out when they actually do a lot of investigation, they find out, yes, she does have this tax debt. And yes, there's a lien, but there's no collections activity. It's one of those things, the IRS. And
is that rare, Barry?
The most amazing thing we've had this year. What's that?
Is that pretty rare for that to happen?
Yeah, it's the first time I've seen it. So that was probably the one new thing in the last 12 months that I've had. Outside of that, we haven't seen anything new. We've, seen more and more audits on, small businesses, especially Schedule Cs, because they think everybody's lying, cheating, and stealing, especially cash businesses that are out there. And so we represent a lot of people on audits. We've seen audits on trucking companies, and we've had to go in and where the trucking company doesn't keep very good information or good records, we had to go back in and do an audit reconsideration on actually 2015 and 2016. And we took them down from owing $1.6 million to owing $100,000.
Wow.
Those are the things that, we get to do.
You got a nice Christmas card from them.
No, actually, I didn't even get a Christmas card from them, which was really disappointing. At first I got a thank you, and then I got, well, is that the only settlement you're going to get us?
Oh, God.
I really didn't know how to respond to that. I said, God bless you. Thank you very much. I'm so glad we could do this for you. And then we went in and reduced another $10,000 in penalties. So, we got to thank you for that.
I want to remind everybody that you might have a relative in, say, Phoenix, or a relative in Sioux Falls, Idaho. If you've got a family member or a friend that's having problems with the IRS, tell them you've got somebody who is unbelievable, that if there's something to be done, he will be able to do it. I want people to write your phone number down. Let's give out your phone number, because the people listening on radio cannot see the screen.
You're kidding. That's new.
Yeah. I can't see the screen. Sorry, we got to have a little fun here, at times. And I know we're on the radio. We're also on YouTube, and you get to look at me this time instead of looking at Steve-O. But he's much better looking than I am.
Our phone number is 877-996-6477. Again, that's 877-996-6477. Check us out on the web at taxationsolutions.net. And again, that's taxationsolutions.net. We're available. We've got, if we're not there in the office answering the phones, we do have an answering service that answers the phones 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So you can get a hold of us, leave us a message. We will get back in touch with you. This is important to us as it is to you. We want to be your superhero. We want to be the guys that are wearing that cape, defeating those big bad guys over there at the IRS. We want to get you a solution. We want to get this off your back. Now, people don't talk about it over Thanksgiving dinner or Christmas dinner. Families are getting together. It's embarrassing. Don't be embarrassed to call us. Don't be embarrassed to give our number out to friends or family. And, if there is somebody that, says, hey, I'm in trouble with the IRS, I have some tax debt, it doesn't matter what the amount is. Give us a call. We'll tell you, in the free consultation, hey, is it better for us to represent you, or is it better for you just to settle this thing on your own? Because there are times and places where our fees just aren't worth hiring us for. And we're going to be honest with you that, hey, this is something that you can actually handle, and here's how to do it. We want to help you through it. You owe $10,000 or more, sometimes $5,000 or more. We're going to be there. We're going to be on your side. We're going to help you. We're going to, put the solution in place that's right for you and helps you sleep at night. And better yet, if you've got a wife at home and you're dealing with this debt and you're trying to deal with it on your own, let her sleep at night. Tell her you've hired Taxation Solutions so that she knows that you're not just putting it off. You're actually dealing with this problem and getting the IRS to stop whatever collections. I mean, can you imagine it's Thanksgiving week and the IRS levied this Friday before the week of Thanksgiving? How are you going to buy that turkey? Don't let it happen in your household.
How are these new guys, Barry? Have they started hiring yet? These new 80,000 new agents, have they started hiring?
Yeah, they've started hiring. Matter of fact, they have some great ads out there that we've heard comments on about, hey, we need
Yeah,
gun
the guns. Yeah.
um, hey, come on, I got a rifle sitting here on my dinner table, but it's
How
actually
are they? Have you had to work with any of the new ones yet?
Yeah, we work with the new ones. They're not the gun-toting ones. Those are going to be mostly in the criminal aspect of it. If we deal with somebody that has a major fraud case or major criminal case, we're going to refer them over to attorney friends because there is no attorney-client privilege between you and I if you've got a legal problem. So we want to make sure we're working together with you to solve this, but have the attorney on your side so we can have a COVA letter that protects you for any communications that you may have with us. So there's things we do that work on this, but we work with a lot of new agents. I school them pretty much every week when I'm dealing with them on the phone. The other day I had to set up a client in non-collectible status, and the first thing they told me is they can't do it. There's no such thing. And
wow,
sometimes you want to have them on a video call because you really just want to see, are they really this young? They really just didn't read the manual, or they just have no clue what they're doing. And I usually fall back on, they have no clue what they're really doing. So we had to explain to them how the Internal Revenue Manual works, and that, yes, I can take a client who's just on Social Security, had no other income coming in, can't afford to make payments, barely can make a house payment and food and living expenses, and put them in a non-collectible status where they don't pay anything to the IRS. The debt still stays out there until the statute of limitations run out, but that is something that is offered through the IRS, and we had to go through and explain it to them. If you would have called, you would have been on a $400 a month payment because the guy had no clue that you could actually be in non-collectible status and not pay the IRS any money. So it's things like that we've got to be aware of, and we're going to have to deal with for the next, year, 2 years, 5 years down the road with 80,000 new agents coming in. I think it's 85,000 new agents that they're hiring.
Yes.
Now, hey, it's getting even better. Now they're going to use Chat AI to answer some of your tax questions for you. So, can you call the IRS and chatting with the, computer system and see how that works?
Yes. Well, Barry, I don't ever want to hear about that you have a new client and his last name starts with a B and his first name starts with a Hunter. I don't want to hear that.
That's a whole nother set of issues.
IRS problems.
I don't have a lawyer friend that would take that case either. So that's a good
I don't think you do either. Barry, it is always so good to have you on. Barry's with us every month. We love having him on. I have so much respect for Barry because, first of all, he has been in business for a long time. And a lot of these companies, there's a lot of them out there who you think are really big, but they've only been around for a short period of time because a lot of these companies go out of business. They don't know how to treat a customer. They don't have the seniority, the knowledge that Barry does. And if you're going to get something taken care of and get this off your back, there is no one better than Taxation Solutions. And I hope you'll give Barry a call. Barry, we'll see you again soon for our Houston show.
Awesome. Hey, I'm looking forward to it. Hey, just remember this number. And if you haven't jotted it down yet, jot it down now. 877-996-6477. 877-996-6477. And I say jot it down and keep it. And just put tax relief, taxationsolutions.net, because I have people that have called me from a couple of the shows we've done here on Ask the Experts over the years. And I think it was one of the shows we did way back about 7 years ago or so that just called us for tax relief.
I can believe that. I
actually wrote the number down and said, "Do you guys still do this?" I'm like, "Yeah, we still do this." And one of my sales guys was like amazed and going, I can't believe that somebody actually jotted this number down from the show and now is just using this number, years later. So jot that number down.
Because Barry, you never know. You never know when maybe it might not be you. Maybe it's a friend or a family member, and they're going, I don't know what I'm going to do. I got this major problem, and hey, I heard a show. This guy was incredible. I wish I would have wrote his number down. So we try to get people to write the number down now. And Barry, when you get a chance today, gotta be today, go on Facebook and look at Reels, Reels. It's usually the top of the page. You'll be kind of surprised.
Hey, that's awesome. I will definitely take a look at that. That's great.
Okay, buddy.
Hey, again, everybody have a great week and a God-blessed month.
One more time with the phone number, Barry.
Yep. Look us up. Call us. TaxationSolutions.net. The number is 877-996-6477. Again, it's 877-996-6477. Hey, have safe holidays. Have a great Thanksgiving. A lot to be thankful for. And God bless you, Steve-O. God bless your family. And
God bless you, Barry.
Look forward to working with you.
Take care. Now, we'll be back again with you next week with more Ask the Experts. Everybody be safe.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.